Now we're going to head north to Canada, and it gives me pleasure to introduce Anita Heuver. Anita is the owner and manager of Eagle Lake Nurseries in Canada. It's a second-generation farm that produces trees, shrubs, and perennials for the prairie market on over 1,000 acres of land in Alberta in Canada. The nursery reached the milestone of 50 years in business in 2020. Anita is an active member of the Canadian Nursery Certification Institute, and which administers the Clean Plants program, the Alberta Nursery Producers Group. She sits on the board of the Canadian Agriculture Human Resource Council, and she's also on the executive of the Canadian Nursery Landscape Association, having served as its growers chair until recently. So it's a great pleasure for us to be able to welcome Anita Heuver, who's going to present the Canadian perspective. Can we have the presentation, please?
Thank you for inviting me here today to speak about the grower-developed Canadian phytosanitary certification program for nurseries, Clean Plants. My name is Anita Heuver. I am the second-generation owner of Eagle Lake Nurseries in Alberta, Canada. Our farm is 51 years old this year. Our farm is located in southern Alberta, which is a very difficult climate to grow in. We have a very short growing season. I can still see snow outside my window today, and the ground has still more than a meter of frost. But the most challenging thing about our climate is the very dry air and severe fluctuations in temperature. It can be -30, then 2 days later be +12 Celsius. The severe cold is very dry, and the warm winds the mild temperatures bring are also very dry. Our last frosts are hopefully late May and the first frost early September. But history shows that frost can occur any month of the year. When my dad started planting a nursery over 50 years ago, the neighbors thought he was crazy. Perseverance and good access to irrigation water has made our nursery successful. Alberta is a relatively small market area, and because of the need to produce very hardy plants that are not always easily available, we try to grow everything that our customers will need from many sizes of trees, shrubs, and perennials, including large caliper trees. Our farm is 1,000 acres or 400 hectares. We supply mostly to the wholesale trade, including landscapers, contractors, municipalities, and garden centers, but even do some direct sales to homeowners. Eagle Lake Nurseries has been Clean Plant certified almost since the program began. In Canada, there are 3 phytosanitary certification programs available. The industry-led Clean Plants program, administered by the Canadian Nursery Certification Institute, or the CNCI, the Canadian Nursery Certification Program, CNCP, which is administered by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency, the CFIA, and also the Canadian Greenhouse Certification Program, which is also administered by the CFIA. The objective of the Clean Plants program is to produce plants that meet high phytosanitary standards, that are completely free of all regulated pests, and are substantially free of all other insects and disease. Clean Plants is administered by the Canadian Nursery Certification Institute and managed by a board of directors that consists of growers from across the country. The Canadian Seed Institute provides third-party audit and verification processes. The CNCI reviews certification manuals, audit reports, and grants certification status. Support from plant health professionals are used to make changes to the program or additions to the program when required. Clean Plants is a general program dealing with all pest issues. When specific pest issues arise, pest-specific modules are developed and added. These modules can be implemented by each nursery as required. We have 2 specific modules currently. C. buxicola certification program for boxwood blight. This program assists growers to manage this important disease with best management practices. This is the only part of the Clean Plants program that supports export trade. Tennessee and Pennsylvania will accept buxus if grown by a Clean Plants certified nursery with this module. The second module is the P. Remorum certification program for sudden oak death. This is now a non-regulated quarantine pest that can result in plant destruction and/or business closure. The discovery of P. remorum in Western Canada in 2003 was the trigger that started the whole Clean Plants journey and brought about the realization that nurseries need to be better prepared for the next new pest introduction. So why be certified? Clean Plants certification is all about risk reduction. You have a plan to manage and reduce exposure to pests and disease. Because you are always monitoring, you will more likely discover new pest introductions before they spread to the nursery and to the landscape. You definitely want to reduce the risks that customers will be affected by regulated pest quarantines and new pest introductions. And by implementing this program on your farm, you will produce improved plants because of improved production systems. Having the program on our farm led to a more systematic approach in all our production systems and helped us to train staff to better understand these processes. It also led to a great improvement in our inventory management system. To become a Clean Plants certified farm, CNCI provides a Clean Plants standard that the nursery follows to build their own Clean Plants manual. Nurseries must meet or exceed the requirements of the standard, but each farm can implement the process in a way that works for their farm. For instance, on our nursery, the whole shipping crew is involved in monitoring for pests as they handle the plants throughout the shipping process. Monitoring for pests is built into the shipping procedure. It is not a separate procedure done at a separate time. CNCI completes an initial facility evaluation, and if you pass, CNCI grants certification status and a compliance agreement is signed. All Clean Plants nurseries are members of the CNCI and pay a yearly fee that varies depending on the size of the farm. External audits are also done for a fee charged by the CSI, which is based on time spent. Certified nurseries receive their unique Clean Plant stamp, which can be now applied to all shipments, showing your customers the plants have been certified. An initial external audit is required in the first year. Then external audits are required once every 3 years. Internal audits must be completed twice annually and must be submitted to the CNCI before you receive your new Clean Plant stamp. So how does this look at the farm level? Nurseries select trusted staff to oversee certification operations. A certification manager who designs and implements the phytosanitary management system and trains staff to follow certification guidelines. The crop protection manager who designs and implements a pest management plan and monitors and controls pests, and an internal auditor who confirms the nursery is meeting its standards and looks for ways to improve them. The certification manager and crop protection manager can be the same person. In smaller operations, often these roles are filled by the nursery owner. Larger operations may have different people for each role. On our farm, our accountant is the internal auditor, as accountants are good at looking at records and following systems. This also brings a fresh look from someone who is not part of the process every day. All shipping and receiving staff are trained as plant inspectors, so that all plants coming in and going out are inspected for pests. Most of the staff in these roles are not trained horticulturalists. They are trained to basically look for anything that is strange. Of course, bugs, but also webs, holes in leaves, discolored leaf, oozing, deformed leaf, galls, lumps and bumps, fuzzy or furry things, just about anything. Our crop protection manager is then called in to identify and decide what steps needs to be triggered to deal with any potential phytosanitary issues. Through this process, we generally find a potential pest before the plants are moved out to loading docks or moved into our production areas. We also ask that all our farm staff be part of the pest monitoring process and report anything strange they may see. The staff working in the fields handling the plants every day can help to expand the monitoring process and find problems before they can spread throughout the production areas. Of Of course, like everything today, you need to keep records and document everything you do. For traceability, records are kept to track plant movement from its origin through the production in the nursery and out to the purchaser. Hopefully everyone has an up-to-date inventory program that ties inventory directly to the shipping and receiving process. This slide shows an example of one of our shipping documents. As I mentioned, we grow on over 1,000 acres on 4 different locations. This document shows that several different staff were involved in loading this order and doing the final sign-off to confirm that the plants are pest-free. This document, along with the other shipping records, are recorded in the computer system so that any requirements to trace a plant can be done by searching the order, the plant variety, the year or location on the farm, and other search criteria. All pest finds are identified and documented. If a regulated pest is identified, CFIA must be notified. If a non-regulated pest is identified, the nursery implements the appropriate pest management practice. Each shipment of plants that is brought into the nursery or is shipped out is inspected for pests and documented. Clean Plants requires you to keep your records for 7 years to maintain traceability documents for your crop sources, locations, pest finds, and corrective actions. There are some challenges. Currently, a few customers, like the City of Calgary, require plants for city projects to be from Clean Plants certified nurseries. But there are industry uptake challenges. Most of the members are currently in Western Canada, and there are only 40 nursery growers officially Clean Plants certified out of approximately 250 nurseries. There are more farms using the system, but opting out of the external audit process. COVID also meant the cancellation of external audits in 2020 and 2021, as travel and farm visits were discouraged. Nurseries are still providing 2 internal audits per year until in-person audits can resume. And for expert shipments, the inspections by CFIA are still required, although those inspections tend to be easier for Clean Plants certified nurseries. Clean Plants is a voluntary program, and until more customers like municipalities expect certification, it will be difficult for nurseries to commit to an externally audited program. Unfortunately, it might take the next big pest introduction to get more nurseries involved. But when this happens, we have a program that is in place and can be implemented by nurseries quickly. Despite some challenges, the CNCI continues to move forward with new clean plant projects. We will continue the development of new pest-specific modules. There is currently a box tree moth module under development. We will continue to recruit more nurseries to become Clean Plant certified. The C. buxicola module has brought on board some new farms to the program as it allowed growers to ship boxwood into the United States. We will continue to promote the Clean Plants program to our customers so that they will request plants from certified nurseries. We are also in the process of developing a pilot project to determine the criteria for CFIA oversight of CNCI auditors, which may someday lead to export certification through Clean Plants. This pilot project between CNCI and CFIA is a real step forward for Clean Plants. It could be the key to getting a much larger uptake on the program and improve phytosanitary systems on all nurseries, using a systematic, industry-driven process that each farm can develop using processes they already have on their farms. Thank you for inviting me here today and giving me the opportunity to tell you about the Clean Plants program. Please feel free to visit our website at cleanplants.org, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have.